Hello everyone, Sean here, and today in this video I wanted to talk about Genshin Impact, but also I kind of wanted to sort of take this opportunity as an excuse to try out a new lens that I got recently for my camera, which is a f1.8 aperture 50mm lens. Which means I have to put the camera farther away, but that's on me. I bought this lens without calculating or thinking about the 50mm part of the sort of that magnification part, and that's why I have to kind of adjust things. But I'll kind of change things from time to time. Use different lenses to kind of change up the look. Kind of make things a little different. Won't be as repetitive in some ways. Anyways, enough about that. I just wanted to kind of use this as an excuse to see how it looks in post. Anyways, wanted to talk about Genshin Impact, where what I think of it right now, what my sort of plans are for the future of Genshin Impact, personally, and the things that are around it that are happening right now, and all the conversations, stuff like that, you name it. So, we had the 1.6 version announced or 1.6 update announced officially, of course, with the special streaming and stuff like that. So far, what's obviously known is, of course, the mini games with the boat, themed around Klee, who is also making a rerun with her banner coming back soon, it seems like. And that'll probably be the next banner that's coming up after Eula's. Which, by the way, yes, I did get Eula. I kind of want to try to make a video around that, getting the banner, or getting the character from the banner. I think it was pretty hilarious, so I should probably get around to editing something from that. Anyway, I did get her nonetheless, and pretty happy with her so far with Eula. I think she's a pretty decent unit, to say the least. Even if you don't build her, with all like the best artifacts and stats and all that stuff, I think she can still perform decently with just, the sort of substandard artifacts that you have in your pocket, I guess, or in your arsenal. So, of course, with the right artifacts, she can be very, very high damaging in bursts, like it's kind of similar to like Hu Tao, but I feel like Hu Tao is much of a nuke, more than Eula. You definitely have to build up the damage with Eula, and then you get rewarded for how much damage you build, during that sort of time period of her ult coming out, which is I guess a better unique way to do things for that burst damage. But I just prefer Hu Tao just because her damage is just so instant, and with the stuff I have her right now, she does plenty of damage against bosses under the right circumstances, if the right reactions take, or right elemental reactions take place. Anyways, sorry to digress, or in all that stuff. I wanted to talk about how I was doing with the Eula banner and the update that came along with that. Pretty interesting so far, but the 1.6 update, as we all know, again, we had the mini games, right? But of course, the more exciting stuff, Kazuha has been officially announced. It seems like that leak, which I won't specify which one, has been pretty accurate so far, given that I believe that leak has been sourced from one of the testers from back in the day or something like that. So Kazuha is definitely one of them, and looks just like the one from the leak. So it seems like that leak seems to be accurate, maybe too accurate, to the point where MiHoYo isn't too happy about that whole incident. Back when they made that statement official that they're not happy about these leaks. Anyway, Kazuha has been officially been announced. I think for the most part he is going to be a good support unit out from the gates, and once you somehow be able to get more constellations from him or with him, he can potentially be a main DPS of sorts. But I think he is suited. I think the intention of Kazuha is for him to be more support esque. So, but with that aside, I do like how he looks. He does look cool. It is interesting that he is the Nemo unit, so he controls the wind and air. So, I think one of the last units that came out with that Nemo element was Xiao, who was 5-star me. So, Kazuha is now the other unit. It's a second unit with the Nemo element on there that's coming from a character banner. Of course, we have Jean, but Jean is a story banner character, so we will always see her in that banner. And of course, she's part of the base sort of roster anyway, so not counting her because of that. Anyway, I think it's cool though. I think what his kit offers is interesting, no less. But I think honestly, I can do without Kazuha. I can definitely skip him. I'm definitely more interested in the upcoming character after Kazuha. I believe Kazuha. After him is, I think, Yoimiya. Yoimiya is the alleged fire archer or bow user that can essentially provide sort of that similar AoE damage from her charged shot, much like Ganyu can. And if that were to be true, I think that'd be pretty cool. I think I can definitely use a fire unit that can pretty much do sort of that same function as Ganyu. And plus, from the images I've seen of this unit, I think she looks definitely cool, and I think I would like to save my gems for her whenever she comes up. So pretty much, during the Klee and Kazuha banners, I can definitely save up my Primo gems, no problem. And I do have some Genesis crystals from a purchase I made during the Eula banner. You'll know all about that once that video comes out. Anyway, I think those two banners, I can definitely save those gems. And then whenever Yoimiya comes out, I believe, that is the time when that will happen. I'm not sure if she is going to come out before or after Ayaka's. So if she is coming out after Ayaka, that's all the more gems for me to save. Because honestly, Ayaka is also kind of the same thing. I can definitely live without her. Don't really need a Hydro sword user of sorts. I mean, her attacks do look cool. I've seen some footage of her from the sort of the closed beta, and from what I've seen, that she does look pretty cool, admittedly. But as much as I would like to try to pull her, just from her aesthetics and sort of the panache she puts out with her attacks, I think it would be better for me to have a fire bow user that's not Amber, unfortunately. I mean, if only they buffed Amber, somehow this need would be a lot less. This sort of temptation would be a lot less volatile. I think the answer would be a lot more clear if Amber wasn't that bad or just very outdated at this point. And also, not to mention, Klee has not been used, for a very, very long time. I've had Klee in my roster for a very long time, but she's just sitting there doing nothing because I have units that just perform just as well as her, if not better, especially with Hu Tao, for example. But, with someone that has range and has a fire element, that would be pretty cool for me. And, of course, she looks really good. I can definitely go for her without feeling too bad, as I would maybe with like Kazuha and Ayaka, in case again she comes before Yoimiya. So that's pretty much the sort of feelings I do have right now for what's coming up in Genshin Impact. My plan is to just save all those gems pretty much until Yoimiya comes out for her banner. So that is the gist of it. Otherwise, when it comes to what's currently in Genshin Impact, I think the sort of the elemental challenges, I forgot they were called, like the trials, were interesting, but there could be better ones out there. And it's really unfortunate that some of the really fun ones that came out back in the day are not around because of the whole sort of that incentive with the mobile game. I feel like they really need to somehow separate the PC version or the non-mobile version away from the mobile version. And I think one way to do it, and I mean, there could be better ways, of course, but one way to do it, at least for me anyway, is for the mobile users. Why not just have, the options to download only this part, only this part, or only this mini game, or only that mini game, or this island, or this region, or something like that, And see, that way, you have the stuff that you want without taking up too much space. And especially for those who have the older phones, with that limited space, that's something to take consideration, of course. But at least you have the option to have just the content that you want in your phone. Now there could be some exploit, and you probably could do some cheating and stuff like that somewhere in there. I'm not a game developer by any means, so maybe they already thought that out, and they've already found like the weaknesses and the cons of having that sort of system. But point being, though, if they could somehow separate the let's just call it the console version of Genshin Impact away from the mobile version of Genshin Impact, I think that would be pretty good. But of course, it is alienating somehow, and of course, the mobile users do bring in the big bucks, but just because a lot more people have phones over like a big hulking PC or a PlayStation 5, of course, or PlayStation 4, that sort of thing. Hopefully, eventually, it'll come to the Switch. I think it'll run just fine. I really do think they need to do something about that, because the content that Genshin Impact has to offer currently, while it's okay, it is better to be desired. It just feels dry, especially with the Dragon Spine, for example. You have this snowy region, but right now there's really not much to do. There's not really much to do besides going through the story and some of the sort of the collecting you have to do for that region or part of that region. But beyond that, really, there's just really not much to do. Of course, I think there were some mini games or something like that surrounding that region or within that region, or at least let's just say that area of that region. But unfortunately, I believe that's been taken away, of course, just like anything else. So that's just another unfortunate thing that Genshin Impact has gone through, and so that makes it all the more dry. And a lot of players right now, especially the major YouTubers anyway, feel like they just want to quit the game because it just feels stale. There really isn't all that much to do once the update kind of expires in a way or passes by, and such. So it's really hard for a lot of people to stick with the game. Now, for someone like me, I do play it for what it is. I just do my dailies, try to farm some artifacts to see if I can find better ones for my characters. I really do like the designs and the sort of the gimmicks that the characters do have to offer, and that's why I tend to stick around a little better than than a lot of people, let's just say, despite the sort of that dry content. But who knows how long that's gonna last for me during some point. It's been so long. It's been like almost a year. We're closing in on that year. It's been like what, half a year now at least. So we and so far with how the game is going through. Now, of course, we are getting some stuff that is permanent, and one of the most recent ones, of course, that's pretty big, are the costumes or the character skins. Jean and Barbara so far are the only ones who are getting the skins, but of course, they're gonna roll out more of those in the future. But that also means that will take up more space on the phone. So who knows how much of that we can get in the future. A lot of mobile games don't really do this scale of graphics and the content within it, so that's why a lot of these mobile games can kind of get away with it. Azure Lane, Fate Grand Order, Epic 7, of course, and Fire Emblem. Now, I mean, those are separate characters, but they're pretty much, different skins, no less. Like just characters in different costumes. Thankfully, Summer Jean and Summer Barbara, let's just call them, are not separate units, so they can just roll these out as costumes. Now, unfortunately, you have to buy the Jean skin for like what, $20 to $30, right? That's around that price range, so that's pretty pricey for a costume. That's pretty much half a video game, almost. Like there's some video games that are $40, or some games or most games are $60 nowadays. And then who knows, that'll go up to $70 on average. I hope that's not the case, but I guess eventually it'll happen. But we'll have to see about that one. But yeah, it's just I really do hope that there are costumes where you can earn them pretty much in game. It would be nice to see costumes for the base characters, besides Jean, I guess now, but at least costumes for just characters in general where you can just earn them in game by grinding this amount of material, do this many challenges, that sort of thing. And at least with Barbara, they are offering it for free in a way during the event. If you just do the event, then you get the costume, so that's pretty cool. I do like that. So hopefully more of that comes out, and if they're really going to charge people for those kind of costumes, I hope they look really good, or offer some sort of different alternate way to get that costume. You have the option to either buy it with your real money, or put your time, a lot of your time into getting these costumes. I just hope there's like options. There's ways, more ways than one to get certain costumes. I hope that Jean doesn't really like set the standard for MiHoYo and just be like, okay, we'll just throw these costumes out for real money only, and if you don't want to spend money, then that's too bad, that sort of thing. But from what I can understand, that's just how things are done for Honkai Impact 3rd. If anyone wants to correct me or explain things to me in the comment section below, I welcome that. But anyway, that's pretty much the real gist of it. So for when it comes to the costumes, it's just I hope it doesn't just set up the trend for that within the MiHoYo sort of that Genshin Impact future or roadmap. And if that's really the case, I mean, I don't know how I feel about that, but I hope overall, I hope MiHoYo really like kind of iron things out to the point where it can really sustain its player base, especially for like the big YouTubers. Anyway, if a good number of these YouTubers start to really drop off from Genshin Impact, what's gonna happen with it, with their audience, you know what I mean, who also play the game. They're gonna feel a little less motivated to play the game as well, and eventually they'll fall off and do something else, because that's what YouTubers are already doing anyway. They're while the Genshin Impact content is dry, they're resorting to other games that are coming up. I understand that Final Fantasy 14 is one of them, especially with that big update that's coming up. There's also Blue Protocol, from what I've been hearing. Like there's actually a number of those Genshin Impact YouTubers that have been mentioning about that. So that's another thing. And then there's also Fantasy Star 2, or Fantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis, which maybe I will try myself as well, but I don't know how long I'm gonna stick with that one. It is free to play, so why not? Another one. I mean, there's just other games in general. It doesn't have to be those MMOs or anything like that. They're just wanting something to do while Genshin Impact is dry. So, because there's really not much to do, because they just literally take away from, they just have this cool update and then take it away, sometime after that. There's always some sort of expiration date that comes with that, unfortunately. Some of them have retained within Genshin Impact, like the Hangout events, which is really cool. Although we have not seen much from it as of late. I think the last one I can remember right on top of my head is another one for Noel, I think, which is kind of weird, and also Diona. So I think that's like the last thing that happened with the Hangout events. Pretty much like the dating sim, for those who are kind of wondering. So that's pretty much all I got before I ramble on about some other stuff. But yeah, that's like the big gist of it. Just Genshin Impact right now is kind of just still fumbling on really trying to, keep its player base, pleasing them, but at the same time, fulfilling their agenda where everyone can kind of sort of agree on it. You know what I mean? So I just kind of worry about the future content for Genshin Impact. Let's see what 1.6 will do for its players, including myself. I think it'll just be another update. You know what I mean? And that'll only be one more nail into that coffin where people are just gonna start, drop off from the game slowly, and then eventually it'll probably be a dry husk of its former self, essentially. If that's how the saying goes. Otherwise, it's a hollow shell of itself. But hopefully, we won't even have to even go there. But for me, I still love the game for what it is. And I love the character designs. I love the characters themselves, the lore around them, and the aesthetics. You know what I mean? They're just things for me that are satisfying with the gameplay. So that's why that kind of keeps me going. But I understand the struggles of being a content creator when it comes to Genshin Impact, because there's, not really all that much to cover besides the characters and sort of the bosses, right? And of course the other content within there. Once you're done with that, it's like, well, that's really much. That's it. What else I'm gonna do? So that's the kind of situation a lot of people have been kind of going through, which is why, again, they're going to other games whenever Genshin Impact is sort of in that dry spell. I just hope that Mihoya finds a way to sort of replenish or quench the thirst that a lot of people are looking for within Genshin Impact, but definitely not any time soon. And I mean, while yes, back on the whole PC thing, or PC version, or console version of Genshin Impact, regarding to content, whether it should be able to keep it or not, it does alienate a player base, but it's really hard to please everyone, and so. I think I've rambled long enough about Genshin Impact. If you have any comments to throw in for Genshin Impact, leave me down below. Really love to check them out. And that's all there is to it. That's my current feelings about Genshin Impact right now and kind of what I've been doing and sort of my vlog, I guess, for Genshin Impact, a little journal update, how I've been doing with that game. And so that's just how it is. So anyways, leave me down below if you have any comments about Genshin Impact, how you're feeling about it, what they could do to keep you playing, and any improvements, any ideas you guys got. All that will be great down below. For a next COD Talks video, I will potentially read those comments as well. So if you want your comments to be read, I'll potentially do that in the next COD Talks video, especially if we have a lot of comments coming in. So, either way though, all comments are welcome in the section below, if it's related, of course, with the channel or video. And yeah, so don't forget to like and subscribe. You know the drill. It really helps out, and I really appreciate you guys. So this has been my Hawke Talks episode of me rambling about Genshin Impact with the upcoming 1.6 update, the future of the game, and how I've been doing with the game so far, and what my personal plans are for Genshin Impact. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Sean out.